Jamie and I, Glenn Suitor, with you on a Wednesday on the Green Zone, 1-877-300-7275. I hope I didn't upset the Premier at all there, but from the comments before the commercial break about what Matt Sakaris on the Team 1040 while I was a guest today talking Riders-Lions. And Matt Sakaris, it was, I repeat, Premier Brad Wall. I didn't bring it up. Matt Sakaris of the Team 1040 brought up the fact since the banjo video, the Riders are 0-2. But the Premier has called in, Premier Brad Wall. See, it's starting to grow beyond the borders of Saskatchewan, Brad, on that video and the detriment it has delivered to the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Is this Premier's Picks?
It is Premier's Picks. On the phone on line one is Premier Brad Wall.
How are you guys tonight?
Very well.
Good.
Very good.
See, I have suggested now, Premier, you make a similar hilarious video to try to revert the mojo back in the favor of the green and white.
Oh, I don't know. I think the video days are over for a bit.
But it was so well done. We need another one.
And I still loved it, Premier, and you know what? It got a lot of people talking, still is. That's great. And you know what? You now know how I feel sometimes when fans say, you called the game so that the team wouldn't win. And I thought, I'm up in the booth, and believe me, I have absolutely zero to do with who wins and loses the game.
It's all great fun. It really is. It's kind of hopefully it helps the game get a little bit more promotion, whether it's a Vancouver talk show or here on the Green Zone. It's all good.
Absolutely. Premier Wall, what a week. 3-1. You're getting some momentum back on Premier's Picks.
I needed some momentum back because the date night was kind of coming back and was happy to share it with all of them. He had his entrance music all queued up again for this week, so we got to keep it going.
Yeah, we'll ensure that never happens again. Well, he may ensure that never happens again, going 1-3 last week. Well, you're going 3-1, allowing the Gnome, of course, to go 3-1 because the Gnome goes against everything Gary says, as everybody should do, I do believe.
The Gnome's got it right. The Gnome's actually available for picks, you guys. We've kind of stopped with Winthorpe, but he's available.
Oh, we're still keeping track of Winthorpe and his
How's he
selections.
doing?
He's 19-25, not doing well because Gary has started to come on as late.
Oh.
But I was going
to make sure he ends the year defeating Gary at least.
Yes.
I'd like to stay ahead of the inanimate object.
But this is Premier's Picks, and this is this is time to celebrate Premier Brad Wall. It's time,
how's that?
Because the Oakland Raiders won.
I was hoping we'd get a little bit of the opportunity to talk about that. It was it was a huge win, and I don't think they played as well as they played against the Colts the week before.
They should be 2-0 if it wasn't for those pesky Colts.
If Pryor throws an 8-yard touchdown, they are 2-0. Unfortunately, we're going to go to Denver this week. As you know, Monday Night Football of all things. I do not know how the Raiders made it on to Monday Night Football, but they have. And so now we're going to watch Peyton Manning go after the secondary, which is minus Branch. As you know, he's a solid safety we've got who broke his fibula, I think, and so he's out.
But the big ticket now is Sunday Night Football.
Your Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos are going to be the big show on Monday, even though it's just the Raiders. Why do you think it's Sunday? Because of the Rider game?
Well, the big ticket for is Sunday Night Football now instead of Monday Night Football because
you think so?
It's a bigger network, and it just seemed because of the flex scheduling in there, they'll always have one of the best games this week. Well, Monday Night Football, it's gone to ESPN. It's The matchups have been traditional rivalries, but they haven't really gone looking at the schedule saying, if we're going to predict who's going to be great against another team that's going to be great, they're matching up like the old days of Monday Night Football.
Jamie, that's a very interesting discussion, and we have Canada's best color TV broadcaster on. What do you think of that? Do you think that's true, that the evolution is towards Sunday night?
I don't know who has more pull than when you're talking networks. I'm sure it comes down to the dollar value and how much they've invested with the National Football League, which is billions with a B when you add them all up for all the TV networks. But I do know it can be tricky to predict when you're locked in. If you don't have the ability to to change on the fly your matchup on a Sunday, for instance. If it's a Monday night game, it's picked before the season begins all the way across. Hard to predict which team is going to, be the best team in the division and things like that. I mean, there's a few that are easier, but you can miss a bunch too. We have the same issue when Chris Cuthbert's trying to sell our guys on which games we'd rather do.
Well, that's what explains Sunday night. It is weird though that, and I'm a Raiders fan, but it's weird that they made it onto Monday night. I guess just because of the rivalry between the Broncos and the Raiders. But it's all good. I think Saskatchewan fans, though, notwithstanding their interest in the NFL, are going to be paying attention to the BC Lions game, though.
What's the bet going to be between us and Rob Vanstone for this Monday night game?
Jamie, you've already given the Super Bowl to the Denver Broncos. Why would Vanstone even want to bet? I mean, you gave it to him.
They're a good team.
I thought
are they a good team.
As a Raiders fan, we cheer for the Raiders and whoever's playing the Denver Broncos. I thought that's the code.
But I have to. When I make picks, I can't pick with my heart. I just can't do it. I always go with what if I break it all down. And man, the Broncos have a good football team.
At least Vanstone won't be insufferable. I think he's the one that first pointed out the Banjo Bowl thing or the Banjo video thing. So, we can count on Rob to be not necessarily a very gracious Denver Bronco fan through the rest of the season.
Let's get to the picks. Is Gary there? Gary ready to go? Mr.
Hey, yo. Say hello to the bad guy.
What was...
See this? That's called Razor Ramon, and listen to this.
That's Razor Ramon, yeah.
No, thank you, Mr.
Very,
Premier.
very
What's
bad
happening?
Razor. It's a terrible Razor Ramon.
I didn't approve this. I know. I'm just saying right now. Any of the program directors listening, Angela J. I didn't approve this.
Do you have a toothpick?
Of course I do, in both ears and in my mouth right now. And I have great news for you, Mr. Premier.
Yes.
I am the real reason the Riders have been losing. I'm notorious for jinxing teams by picking them, and that would explain the Riders' losing streak. So just to let you all know, to do my job as a Saskatchewanian, I'm going to pick the Lions this weekend. You're welcome, Saskatchewan.
There you have it.
Gary's
Gary's
going any more videos, and he's picking the Lions, so I promise you, I'm picking the Riders.
This will change everything.
We'll see how it goes this week again. It's a big game. Whew. The last 7 games should be dandies for the Riders down the stretch. So BC, Gary, of course, the Premier going Saskatchewan. Edmonton, Winnipeg, Premier Wall, the Toilet Bowl Part 2.
I picked the Eskimos last week, and I think they're going to win again.
Edmonton, 2 straight to take home the Toilet Bowl back to Edmonton. Gary?
Man, the Bombers looked real bad, so I better take them again, hey?
Might as well.
Let's do it.
Fantastic. That's outstanding.
Then that's not just the flushing sound you hear from the Banjo Bowl. It is Gary's picks.
Come on.
Montreal at Hamilton, Gary. You can go first.
I will take Hamilton, please.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats, Premier Wall.
I'm with Gary. Hamilton.
Well, good choice. I thought, whoa. Did you just spend like 5 minutes chirping me about never doing what Gary says?
No, that was Jamie.
I said that.
Okay.
No, that was Jamie.
Thank you, Mr. Premier. I appreciate that clearing up of the situation.
You and I were going to write one of them political attack ads against Jamie.
Absolutely. I'm the guy. I'm your man, the bad guy.
All right.
You bet.
Toronto at Calgary. I'm just going to ignore that because I've hurt feelings. Anyways, Toronto at Calgary, Premier Wall.
The Stamps.
That sounded painful.
So enthusiastic.
Well, in order to keep catching up, I got to get that momentum back, so I will take the Argos.
Oh, excellent. Winthorpe going Edmonton, Montreal, Calgary, Saskatchewan. Looks like a good week for the Gnome. Premier Wall, Gary Nickel, good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Take care.
There you have it. That's his Premier's picks for another week as he's starting to pull away again. 4 wins up on Gary Nickel.